We've all heard about the possibility of super teams being formed with the goal of getting the #1 draft pick. Just look at what happened in 2019 when the Knicks had their sights set on drafting Zion Williamson and also signing Kyrie, Irving, and Kevin Durant. But it's important to remember that a lot of things need to fall into place for this kind of dream team to become a reality. And in the case of Houston, it's going to take a lot of things going their way to make this pipe dream a reality. As many of you know, the Rockets have been struggling for the past 3 seasons, and it looks like this season is no different. Even though they entered the season with high hopes, looking to turn their fortunes around and become a respected team in the West. With a talented backcourt and a potential all-defense lottery pick, the team was ready to make a push for the playoffs. However, the climb out of the West cellar has been a bit trickier than Houston may have expected. Despite their best efforts, the team has struggled to find consistency on the court. They are off to a rough first half of the season, losing 36 of their 47 games so far. The Rockets were in a 13-game losing streak. Yeah, that's right. Up until beating the Timberwolves 119-114. Many of the Rockets players are not living up to expectations. First-round pick Jabari Smith Jr. has been particularly underwhelming, with an abysmal shooting percentage of just 39.1% from the field and making not much of an impact on the floor. And the Rockets are facing a crucial 2022-23 season. Every game they play has high stakes. Every loss brings them closer to a potential high draft pick, but every win pushes them farther away from it. And with the prospect of Wembanyama in the draft, the Rockets will have to win the tankathon to increase their chances of securing Wemby and rebuilding around him. In 2021, Houston made a huge move by getting the draft rights to Jalen Green with the 2nd overall pick. And in 2022, they secured the 3rd pick and drafted Jabari Smith Jr. But it's not just these 2 players that make Houston's team exciting. They also have a young core of players like Alperen Sengun and Terry Eason, who are sure to make an impact on the court. But it could get even better for Houston. James Harden is reportedly interested in coming back to Houston, but when reporters asked about it, he seemed upset about those questions. It's been a rough season for the Rockets, but with the chance to draft Victor Wembanyama, they could be on the verge of becoming an incredibly scary team. Can the Houston Rockets achieve the vision? At the start of the season, not many people predicted that the Rockets would have a chance to land Wembanyama. But now, it looks like the Rockets are in a tight race with the Hornets and Pistons for the top pick. The Houston Rockets are in a position to make a big move in the upcoming draft. But the question on every fan's mind is, will they land the #1 pick? Many experts believe that Wembanyama could be the next LeBron James of the sport. The Houston Rockets have been facing some tough competition at the bottom of the league, but the competition is not what many of us predicted at the start of the season. The San Antonio Spurs, for example, had a strong start to the season, but have now lost 33 of their 47 games this season. On the other hand, teams like the Utah Jazz and the Indiana Pacers have been playing much better than expected. Not only are the Jazz avoiding a full tankathon despite trading away Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert, and believe it or not, they're currently sitting 9th in the Western Conference standings. Even the Oklahoma City Thunder are holding their own, thanks to the superb form and play of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. When we take a closer look at the Rockets roster and prospects, one thing is clear: they are the favorites to finish with the poorest record in the Western Conference. But as the season progresses, it's possible that the Rockets may actually end up with the league's worst record. Fans who are looking forward to having Wemby won't see that as a problem. But for Stephen Silas, this might not have been exactly what he had in mind when he was named the head coach of the Rockets back in 2020.
Enjoy that?
Yeah, it was great. It was great. It was fun, and the defense tonight was really good, and it's definitely great to be back. I love these guys. I love this team.
When Stephen Silas joined the Houston Rockets, he had high hopes for the team. With James Harden and Russell Westbrook leading the charge, the Rockets were expected to be a top competitor for the next few seasons. But things didn't go as planned for Silas. Despite being in his prime, Harden left the team, and Westbrook's impact wasn't as strong as expected. And with a disgruntled John Wall on the roster, Silas's tenure with the Rockets was filled with drama and disappointment. It has been a rough ride for Silas, who has never got the clean shot he'd hoped for. And surprisingly, Silas's job has in no way been called into question thus far. But if the Rockets register another 60-loss season, perhaps another voice might be tabbed to lead the team. The silver lining, though, is that they do have intriguing and talented young bucks. And with a bit more seasoning, they can even form a competitive core in the future. I mean, they have 2021 number 2 pick Jalen Green, along with point guard Kevin Porter Jr. That's a solid backcourt with the potential to be really special. They also have Alperen Şengün, who has seen his numbers pop in year 2. If Smith finds his rhythm and they do land Wembanyama, this would honestly be among the most promising young cores on the planet. Adding another premium talent like Wembanyama is obviously attractive to their fan base. Keep in mind, though, that even the poorest record in the league will not ensure getting the top draft pick. The NBA's new lottery odds, which gives each of the worst 3 teams a 14% chance of getting the number 1 pick, have created a more level playing field. The Rockets could end up last this season and still miss the Wemby train. This rebuild of the Rockets is surely going to take a bit more time. The coming weeks and months will be crucial for the squad. It will also be on Silas in the organization to instill the systems and structures that will really enable these players to be great. Even if they do succeed in getting Wembanyama in May, nothing much will change if a culture and structure of winning won't be in place. What does Wembanyama bring? You've probably heard of Wembanyama so far. He does not seem of this world. He is, of course, expected to be the top draft pick later this year. Based on what we have seen so far, he's more than just his size. His skill set is impressive, and his potential to make a splash next season is quite tantalizing. Even 2-time MVP and NBA champion Giannis Antetokounmpo has given Wemby a ton of props. The Greek Freak said, "This kid is going to be a problem, a big problem. I've never seen this before in my life. I saw him up close. He was on the same team as my brother Costas. He's taller than Rudy Gobert. He can block shots too like Rudy, but shoot like KD. Bro, crazy. He has a good attitude. If he stays healthy, he's going to be really good. He moves with grace and precision, displaying a skill level typically associated with players a foot shorter. His size allows him to own the rim on both ends of the floor, whether he's slamming home lobs and putbacks on offense or deterring shooters with the threat of his shot blocking on defense. At minimum, he's one day going to be the NBA's best play finisher on offense and one of the most intimidating rim protectors on defense. With this, there is an off chance that he can come and be one of the greatest players of all time. The league is buzzing with talks of Wembanyama's potential, with many believing that if he remained healthy, he could become a transformative player on par with the likes of LeBron James, Michael Jordan, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. So what's next for the Rockets? Many experts are speculating that if the Rockets don't secure Wembanyama and the Philadelphia 76ers make a strong playoff push, James Harden may choose to stay with the 76ers. One thing is for sure though, the Rockets are a team to watch out for in the future. Will Harden return to Houston and lead the Rockets to greatness? And if Harden doesn't return, will drafting Wembanyama or Scoot be good enough for the Rockets to build a young dream team?